Welcome to the Leg It Podcast. As you all know by now, the Leg It Podcast is powered by Monterex. Make sure you head over to monterex.com and take advantage of the 15% off they offer if you type in Leg It at checkout. Monterex have been the main sponsor of the podcast for a while now, and their gear is a belter. So head over to the website now and take full advantage of the Leg It promo code. What's happening, everyone? Welcome to the It Sportcast. It's me, Andy Grant.
It's me, Jordan Neal.
Happy Friday, everyone. Hope you've all had a belter week and have a good weekend coming up. Where are we starting, George? Actually, can we start?
Just gone on, hasn't it?
Since you are the one who's pushing this on me, it's not quite got on me yet, but the NFL...
Did you watch Super Bowl?
No.
Super Bowl, baby. Lad, I loved it. Stayed up and everything.
Did you?
Yeah. Loved it. Do you know what they built? It was boss.
Name me two players.
Odell Beckham, Joe Burrow,
Okay.
Matthew Stafford.
All right, okay.
Mate, I'm telling you now, once I get a fucking B in me, I'm doing some serious digging on NFL history as well.
I know, like, the headlines, like, Beckham got injured, didn't he? Tore his ACL or something.
Yeah, but he scored the first touchdown, didn't he? I had a little bet builder as well, and as soon as that came in, I thought, oh, it's on. But
Did it come in, did it?
no, it didn't come in. They didn't win. I had over 48.5 points, and it was 23-20. So
The take-homes I got for the NFL, there was a proposal at the end.
was that Matthew Stafford, the quarterback, or not?
I don't know.
No, I didn't. By that point, once the game was over, I was like, right, I'm gonna have to fucking go to bed now. But
That's what I mean. It's just too long for me.
yeah, but that's only time zone, innit? Imagine that was in the middle of the day. Be loving it.
Maybe,
It's not as slow as you think it is. The game when you sort of starting to understand what's going on.
The half-time entertainment looked all right.
Yeah, Dr. Dre.
I seen a bit of controversy, and obviously Eminem got down on one knee for the old what's his name?
Yeah, Colin Kaepernick. Yeah.
Colin Kaepernick. And there's rumours saying that NFL told him not to do it.
Yeah, but he told Dr. Dre not to say fuck the police as well, didn't he?
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think he said that as well. But I think the NFL said we didn't say anything.
Yeah, I don't know whether it's rumours or what. But that's about the only take-home I've got for the NFL.
Oh my God, did you see the headline about Snoop Dogg?
No.
It was like Snoop Dogg caught smoking weed before the performance, so he's in like the dugout or whatever, and he's just having a little toke, and he's like, I was like, if your headline is Snoop Dogg smokes weed, then you're fucked, aren't you?
Yeah.
So, yeah, he smokes weed.
Smoke weed every day.
He was good. But do you know what? For someone who's like, there was another tweet going, oh my God, it's the Just Eat guy. But you know, like, you sort of forget how good Snoop Dogg and them are, don't you?
Oh, they were boss.
Do you know what I mean?
That was from my childhood. Eminem, Snoop, Dre.
It was brilliant, like having 50 cents hanging upside down.
Oh yeah, I just seen everyone give him chicks. He put a bit of weight on.
He's a meathead, isn't he?
Yeah.
So like he tried to do the old in the club.
Yeah,
You could see him get me. His fucking head was fucking popping. Oh, yeah, it was brilliant. I really enjoyed it, mate. Really enjoyed it.
I'm glad you did, mate. I enjoyed waking up the next morning and watching the half time.
You'll be in next season. Get yourself a team.
Maybe. Moving on to Novak, mate. This Novak vaccine stuff is not going away.
You're saying he's not getting it now, isn't he?
He's turned around. The actual thing he said was he said stop kind of putting me in the anti-vax kind of crew, because he said he's not an anti-vax. He said that he just wants to be like, he just doesn't want to get it. It's his own personal choice. It's his own thing. And he said then, he's not against vaccination, but he's prepared to miss Grand Slams in order to maintain control of what goes into his body and the right to choose.
Not against that, like that's fair enough, isn't it? But
he said, yes, that is the price I'm willing to pay. Mate, that is a bit... It's all right, you know, you're anti on Facebook going, I'm not getting the vaccine, even if it means I get to miss Benidorm every year, I'm not going to do it. Like, this is one of the greatest tennis players ever saying that he will not play in any Grand Slam tournaments because he wants to, you know, keep, you know, the right and what goes into his body.
Do you reckon if he doesn't play any more Grand Slams, unless they change the rules so he doesn't play them at all, do you think at the end of his career he'll be remembered as what he is, or the fella who wouldn't take the vaccine?
Unfortunately, yeah, the vaccine will just hang round his neck, won't it?
For what he's achieved.
But
and that's what the take home.
But mate, he is on. He's only one behind Nadal on Grand Slams. He's level with Federer.
Yeah.
And the reason he hasn't been able to win anymore is because he doesn't want to get a vaccine. I just think that's so fucked up.
It is.
And no one is kind of, because he has maybe a little bit arrogant and people don't like him for whatever reason, no one's really kind of
defending him.
I think if it was Roger Federer who had that stance, people would be different.
I think you're probably right. Like but it's tough, innit? Because it's how far he goes with it. Like what is he going to get from being a martyr?
He says Novak says he was not against vaccination, but would not defend his Wimbledon or French Open titles if he was forced to take the jab.
I think they'll bend before he does. Because tennis without Novak Djokovic doesn't fucking sell as well, does it? Well, I guess the circus sells round it, doesn't it? But
madness.
2 blinks first with that one, mate, 100%.
So unfortunately, Wimbledon might not have big Novak there this year.
Fucking Nadal just keep winning everything.
That's what I mean, though.
Nadal sitting in this like that, fucking get in.
So the Russian skater thing didn't go away either.
What has gone on? Like, so she said.
So she took,
guilty.
She took part in a team event.
Yeah.
And come back looking juiced up.
Yeah. And
so now they're saying that she can't take part in her own individual one, but now they've said she can. So the CA.
So basically they've said drugs are okay.
So basically, it's all a bit complicated, but the Court of Arbitration for Sport has determined that no provisional suspension should be imposed. They cited exceptional circumstances for its decision that the 15-year-old submitted a positive sample for the banned substance, trimetazine, on Christmas Day. They included that the status as a protected person under the World Anti-Doping Code. It's because of her age, essentially. It's all just fucking dodgy. And any time that, you know, people are getting juiced up, there's just so much cloak and dagger mystery about it, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, like, but the problem is, it's like boxing we spoke about loads of times. You can't say it's good 1 minute and then it's bad the next. Do you know what I mean? I know she's 15, but she's took drugs or been injected with drugs by a coach or whatever.
It
is what it is.
It's
isn't
mad.
It?
But anyway, yeah, she's been allowed to play. She's 15, getting juiced up. That's the real issue.
Yeah, that's the fucking problem. Yeah, some fucking coach is just giving her crazy shit.
The other big mad one was. Oh mate, I just would have loved to have been a fly in the room on...
My neck's killing, by the way. Sorry if you see me...
I know, I've seen you do that a few times.
I know what it is. I must have slept wrong or something.
A fly on the wall in the room when the F1 managers got together this week.
Did you see the half frosty handshake between Horner and Toto Wolff?
Yeah. Red Bull and Mercedes come together and they had a few things to discuss. One of them was obviously the contentious last lap.
I reckon Christian Horner was just across the table going... Had you off, yeah.
Mate, you know what though, like joking aside, it takes a big man, both Lewis and the team, to come back and be like, you know, shake hands on it. I mean, there's a photo here, shaking hands and being like, okay, you won.
It's like that smile and wave thing, innit? It's like, so to just give it, imagine.
It happened on Valentine's Day as well. They like sit next to each other on Valentine's Day.
It's gonna be a heavy season, as we said last week, but yeah, I think, you know, it does take a lot to get in that room, doesn't it, and hash it out, but we'll see more details on the changes that they're making. So.
Well, there was some, in brackets, detailed discussions took place around the controversial title finale, so I don't think they'll allow anything like that to happen again.
No.
You know, the rules will no doubt be put out at the very start of how the season will look in every circumstance. I think there's also quite a bit of discussion on what can get said, you know, the pressurising of the stewards.
Yeah.
Because
they got direct line, haven't they? Do you know what I mean? It's not like it's you know, in other sports you'll sort of, you know, you'll do the competition and then you'll have the stewards inquiry or whatever. Horse racing, for example, in that they've got a direct line and they're like talking in real time. So
do you think I'm not as big as an F1 fan to know the kind of intricacies of the personalities, but do you know the way Ferguson for years had this kind of, you know, he had this like hold over the referees, didn't he? It was like Fergie time and it was all... There may be F1 owners who feel like they've got, you know, the stewards in the pocket. It's a bit like, you know...
It's like box. You know, for example, you know when judges come over to box, say we had a card at the Echo Arena. So when the judges come over to box, the promoter will then host them judges. And so, you know, you put them up in a hotel and you might take them out for dinner or you might, you know, whatever, you might cover the bar bill or something. That goes on in sport, do you know what I mean? When it's like, for example, when it's...
That's interesting, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so you basically employ them.
So where the Airns got them all in the Hilton, fucking paying for all these South American
they'll all be in the Hilton and like, you know, they might, I don't know, there might be a note saying table booked at XX for 8 o'clock.
And Eddie Hearn's got his fighter.
Yeah.
That's I didn't know that.
That's how it works, right? It's a promotion, isn't it? And I mean, that goes on whether on the books or off the books in every sport, I think. Like, for example, I guarantee in football, a football club has paid for a referee's dinner, or not in a sense of we'll pay for your dinner and you give us a penalty. But do you know what I mean? It's like the hosting goes on, doesn't it? Yeah, and I don't think in F1 it's any different. Right?
Well, they're trying to kind of stop this interfering of leaning on the stewards in,
Should be like although drug testing's shit in every sport, it should be like that, judges and referees and that should be a separate entity, shouldn't they? And they should come in and, but, it's the way of the world, isn't it?
Yeah, so it's all starting to heat up in the horse racing world. F1 world.
Horse racing world, you're reading your notes there.
Yeah. It's the next thing.
It's all heating up in the world of boxing.
So that's, means F1's close to getting started, which I'm excited for.
Yeah, me too, big time.
In horse racing, well, obviously we've got Cheltenham and that coming up soon, which is good.
4 weeks.
When's the preview night as well?
March the 9th, there's a preview night in the beer cellar. So we've got tickets available on our Patreon page. I'll put them in the bio, actually, this week's as well. So a couple have gone off Patreon, quite a lot. So people who are listening to this will also be able to get tickets. March the 9th, beer cellar. We're on stage as well.
Yeah, we're going to be doing a bit of a Q&A, aren't we?
Yeah, Q&A with obviously us and jockey Tom Bellamy, who has won a load of big races this year. So he's got some big rides for the festival as well. So, yeah.
So if you like your horse racing, get down to that. The big thing as well, a bit of a negative on horse racing, is that Bryony Frost thing's not going away.
Robbie Dunn.
It's the appeal coming up the end of March, I think.
Yeah, he's appealed his 18-month ban, hasn't he?
Is that what he got in the end, 18 months?
I think so, yeah.
For bullying?
Give or take. Just... he's
got an appeal, and 18 months is fucking is harsh.
I think all the evidence suggested he was doing exactly what she said he was. But the problem is, it just drags on for him and Ian, doesn't it?
Well, that's what I mean.
It drags on for us all, really.
I don't know the intricacies of the case.
Sorry, I'm getting comfy. We're past the professional side of this show, aren't we?
You sit how you want, Jude. What I mean by the 18-month ban, I don't know the intricacies of the case, but it's going back to the whole kind of the culture and stuff, and whether it is wrong or isn't wrong, and 18 months. So anyway, he's appealed it. That's coming up the end of March, which is a shame because it'll be just after Cheltenham, just before Aintree, and it's all a bit... It's
fucking horrible to read about, as well.
That's what I mean, in a time when... This is the time of year, though, mate, where, for me, like, the beginning of March, mate, I start getting excited. Like, even, probably now, actually, Champions League comes back.
Yeah, knockout rounds.
You got Cheltenham coming up, Aintree coming up, and then Liverpool tend to start winning things about May. Then it's my birthday, it's the summer. So like now is like when my year starts properly.
Don't talk about birthdays. I'm 30 this year. Oof. But yeah,
I'm planning your birthday party, lad.
Tea and cake. So it's like, but obviously Cheltenham is 4 weeks away, isn't it? So hopefully in the next 4 weeks everyone's talking about Cheltenham and the UK versus Ireland, all these big boss horses, rather than this shit. And
we will be there on Gold Cup Day, so there's going to be
there's a couple of people who've said they're going down, aren't they? Off Patreon as well, so hopefully we can meet up with anyone who might listen, who might be down there.
We're going to be doing a vlog as well, just for Patreon members only, so I've never done a vlog like that before, so...
Yeah, that's going to be fun. But to be honest, the reason it'll be funny is because we're travelling down Thursday morning. We've got a place rented out, a serious gaff for 2 nights.
Hot tub and everything, I'm told.
Yeah, so we got that, and then obviously, so...
If we have a few winners on that Thursday, my stump is going to be in your face on the vlog, I'm telling you right now.
You won't be able to hold the camera, lad. You'll be fucking in the... We just stump off in the...
all Jordan's old mates are just going to be introduced to my stump, and they're half asleep, and my stump's just in their face.
There's a few loose cannons coming, don't worry about that. But yeah, I think that vlog will be hilarious.
So yeah, that's that. On the talk about the controversies and stuff, mate, UFC rolled into town at the weekend. Before we talk about the actual fighting, which was a belter, Joe Rogan obviously has been in the shit this week for anyone who's been living under a rock for saying the N-word. Listen to our Patreon episode if you want to get our views on it. Yeah, we just discussed it in depth, but yeah, long story short, someone's compiled a 5-minute compilation of every time he used the N-word over the past 15 years. Yeah. Doesn't look great for him. He's come out and apologised for it. And he's got the backing of one of the hardest fellas in the game, who basically said... Israel Adesanya, yeah. Joe Rules. Joe Rogan's... Imagine that's what he shouted.
Joe Rule.
Get mixed up with Ja Rule and Joe Rogan. Adesanya's come out and just said, listen, Joe Rogan's the man. He's one of the coolest motherfuckers around, I think is what he said.
In a game that's full of, as he puts it, cunts. It is a game of snakes. It's, you know, combat sports will always be that way. There'll always be audible people in it. But yeah, I mean, you know, it's not for this podcast to say what they're doing to Joe Rogan, but you know,
was he banned then from it this weekend?
Well, he said he had a conflict of bookings or something, so he was booked to do something else. But Joe Rogan brings colour to the commentary box. You know what I mean? I think he is the colour commentator. So obviously you have John.
Brisbane was in this.
Yeah, so John Anik does the play-by-play, so he'll tell you what's coming in, and then DC and Joe Rogan will add their little bits in, and he's brilliant at it. But I think Bisping was really good, and Bisping is really good, but the show definitely suffered to not having Joe there, like, in my opinion.
Going back, Joe's a little bit like Novak Djokovic, though, and I don't think he's had the jab, so there's certain states he can't commentate.
No, I don't think so.
Is there not?
No, I think in America he's okay, and I believe he's been to Houston before during the pandemic. But
well, he lives in Texas, don't he? Actually, so
but I think it was more.
His comments.
Yeah, I think it was more his comments. But you know, I was a bit disappointed that they sort of succumbed to that, because you know, you look back at Joe Rogan, he's been with the UFC since it began, mate. Do you know what I mean? When he was nothing, when he wasn't Joe Rogan, and you know, he's championed mixed martial arts for a long time. And whether you agree or disagree with what he does or what he said, you know, I in no way agree with it, as we said on Patreon. But yeah, that's his job. It goes back to this Zoomer thing we were talking about last week. Like, deal with the personal stuff however you want, but his job is to, you know, commentate on them fights, and fans tune in to listen to him commentate. Don't take that away because of, you know, a couple of things that are being said. Yeah. And it's good to see, you know, Israel Adesanya, who is, you know, black, putting his support behind them and sort of seeing it for what it is. And yeah, I think Joe Rogan rightly apologised, and so he should, but yeah, they shouldn't be taken off, in my opinion.
When it comes to the actual fighting,
Bam Bam, Tai Tuivasa just ripped the script up, didn't he?
Yeah.
How are you going to stop him?
Mate, he looked like he was out of it though, didn't he, at one point? How he survived those, you know.
So the reason I put up, like, Hakparas just got sort of dragged into the wrong fight, which was my main bet, so I was a bit sore on that. But the reason I thought Derek Lewis would win by KO was because of that.
Because he's fucking massive.
Yeah, but like, he got him to that point where, so I think he obviously put him on the floor, didn't he? And then as he was getting up, it's just 3 clean shots. And Tai Tuivasa just laughed at them.
It was mad.
Mate, he's got the most knockouts in UFC history, Derek Lewis. He puts people asleep. And he took 3 clean on the chops. 3 on the chops.
Wait, when you take 3 big blows and you take them clean, it's called 3.
Yeah. But, and then he got up and started swinging with him.
It was an elbow, wasn't it? That put him out in the end.
Oh, disgusting, that. Right across the jaw.
It was almost like he fell in slow motion as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was like... Do you know what that... Do you know what it like, was for me? He elbowed him, and then Derek Lewis took a step, and it was almost like that step, his body just went, nope.
Nah, I'm done.
Yeah. But then he got on the thing and he done a shoey.
He got cut though, didn't he?
I don't know why he didn't show it. Stupid. That's what I was waiting for.
I know, I was like, take the shoe and drink the beer.
But he's now ranked 3rd in the world. Top 3 in the world, mate.
I enjoyed that fight.
He's going to fight Big Tom, you know.
Do you reckon?
Tom Aspinall comes through Volkov. He might fight Cyril Gane, which because that's a very logical fight to make, isn't it? Gane coming off and Ngannou, Tai on his way up. But I think they could make Tom versus Tai.
Oh.
Abu Dhabi or something. He's based up there now, isn't he?
Surely not next for Tom.
Yeah, well, he fights Volkov. Volkov's... Yeah, he'll be... let me just check the UFC heavyweight rankings, because Tom's ranked now.
Is he? Oh, is he?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I didn't think he was ranked just yet.
Maybe I'm wrong, but I'm sure Tom's like 14 or something. But yeah, I think they'll make it. Like, I don't know whether it'll be next, but it'll definitely be...
Yeah.
Where is he? So, yeah, sorry, Tom's 10, Volkov's 7. So, obviously, Tom beats Volkov, he goes 7. Then 6, you've got Curtis Blades. 5, you've got Derek Lewis, who's not going to be fighting. Then you'll have Tai in a 3rd.
Interesting. Yeah, no, I enjoyed that. One I didn't enjoy as much was the main event. I just think because I was so excited for it.
Played out, like I said last week, I thought it was going to be technical. But I think Adesanya had an amazing first round. You know, had the better of the second, and then I think Whittaker just left it to...
I don't think Whittaker done. I'm of the rightly or wrongly, whether it's boxing or UFC, I'm in the opinion where you've got to do something more than the champion. You've got to take it.
Adesanya said that. He said you don't just nick a title fight, you take it from me. But what I try to do now in me sort of UFC watching old age, it's like, so I try to do 5 minutes, new fight, 5 minutes, so there's basically 5 fights in one fight, if you understand what I mean. So that's how I did it.
So you're not getting swayed almost?
No, so like, for example, Adesanya had a very good first round. So you go, right, Adesanya won fight 1. But then on fight 2, if you just go round by round, you go, right, Adesanya's on top. So then you've got a preconception, haven't you? Adesanya's on top. So then you go, right, fight 2. Adesanya won fight 2, he's 2-0 up. Then, so when I scored it like that, I did round 1, round 2, Adesanya, 3, 4 and 5, Whittaker. But I've watched it back and then I can see why you probably wouldn't do that. So I can understand why you'd maybe give the 3rd round to Adesanya. But as I said, I think Whittaker, although he said he won at the end, and you know, my first initial thing was that he did as well, but I think he'll kick himself because...
Yeah, like a bit of an opportunity missed.
Yeah, because he showed in the last... Like, he's got the skill set to do damage to Israel Adesanya, but he just didn't do enough of it. Do you know what I mean? And
do you know what I think was a bit mind games, whether he's done it on purpose, whether he always does it, I don't know. But Adesanya wasn't even taking the stool, was he?
No, it is. It's a mind game thing, yeah.
And I think if you're Whittaker and you're going, I'm blowing here, and you're looking across the octagon, and he's just standing there, barely breathing out of his mouth still, like still had his mouth closed, breathing through his nose for a lot of it. And you're fucked. You're thinking, oh, fucking hell, who am I up against here?
In his kickboxing days, he finished the round and then stood in the middle of the ring and just waited till the ref went, like, go again.
Wow.
But he's he's the best middleweight in the world by, you know, some distance now. Like, the only person, in my opinion, in the middleweight division you can fight him to a close fight is Robert Whittaker, and he's proven twice that he can beat him. So
on this,
who is left?
Because he's fought him. What's happening with Darren Till? You heard anything on that?
Yeah, so he done an interview this like last week. So I think he's coming back in the summer against like Uriah Hall, or he wants Sean Strickland, who we spoke about last week. But he's not going to get that. But he's a long way off now, Till. Like,
you don't think UFC London?
No, he said that he's not ready. He did have a torn ACL in that thing, but apparently he signed a new 4-fight deal with the UFC.
Really?
Yeah, so he's got 4 fights. But from a stylistic point of view, Israel Adesanya versus Darren Till is an unbelievable fight. But whereas Israel just go and, you know, he'll win. Yes, he stepped up and he lost against Yan, but he'll win, and then Till just has all the ability, but just can't convert it on the night. I
always think with Till, it's like you're putting your hand in a bag, aren't you? And you don't know what you're pulling out.
Exactly that. And, you know, he's obviously been off Instagram and Twitter for the most part since his defeat, and hopefully he's working on his game, because if he can get to I think when Adesanya looks at the division, he'll probably look at Sean Strickland and then be like, it's not getting me out of bed, that. But I think if Till was on a 2-fight, 3-fight win streak, I think Adesanya would be like...
Well, he's got the name, hasn't he? Where if you just put a streak together, then his name's back in the hat. But it's like,
you know, Till would go there and he'd talk a bit of shit, and Adesanya would give him it back. I know they're actually friends. I think they actually do converse quite a lot, but I just think that's like a fight week that'll probably get the juices going and that, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If he goes to somewhere and he fights the likes of Sean Strickland and he's like 1-6 on, when you're at his point and you got his money in that, you need something that gets you out of bed, don't you?
Yeah.
And I just don't think there's anything there at the moment that will get him out of bed, unless Chimaev decides to come up.
Anything on for this weekend?
Quieter card this weekend. The main event actually fell off and has been put over to UFC 272 in a couple of weeks. But yeah, there's the main event's Johnny Walker versus Jamahal Hill. Good fight. We've bet on Hill before on this podcast, but yeah, it's a bit of a quieter card. It'll be on at a decent time, I think. I think the prelims start at 9 o'clock in the UK, so you know, for degenerates like me, watch it. You'll see some good fights, but yeah, no massive names this week, like.
And in the boxing, do you want to jump boxing now or leave it till last? We've got footy and boxing to touch upon.
I reckon we go boxing now, and I reckon we finish on footy, because there's so much going on in footy, isn't there?
Yeah.
Obviously, last week we had John Ryder. Did you watch it?
No.
So John Ryder I've gone perfect for February for my boxing tips, by the way.
Yeah, you got 2 out of 2 on the boxing.
2 out of 2 this week, and obviously 1 last week. So thank you for people messaging me about them, which is nice. So thanks for following them. But yeah, we had John Ryder against...
Make sure you take your winnings and support some Patreon.
Yeah. If you win, just put £4 to Patreon. But yeah, we had John Ryder against Daniel Jacobs. Lost the first 6 rounds. turned the fight around a little bit, but managed to get a split decision win, which is a bit controversial. I don't really know how I scored it, to be honest. Like, at 12, I was...
Because you were saying Jacobs needs to like have a bit of a throwback to have any chance. Was he the impression?
Yeah, so for like the first 4, you're thinking, like, fucking hell, Jacobs is back here, but then the wheels fell off, do you know what I mean? He weren't quite moving the way he did, weren't fast, was getting clocked. And John Ryder has come on like a steam train, won a few rounds towards the back end, and it's obviously swung it his way, but yeah, it was a bit of a stinker, to be honest. And Felix Cash...
See his interview after the fight?
I don't actually know.
What's happened?
No. You know, he made some comments about drinking in the build-up to this, but I took it as... He said, I've had a lot of weight to lose, one too many pints. So I took it as, you know, he just ballooned up a little bit. But, you know, I'm not sure if he's had...
Anyone hasn't seen it, like an emotional interview on it?
Yeah, I think
really
I posted, yeah. So, you know, Felix Cash for me... I know you got Eubank, but I think Felix Cash is the best middleweight in the country. I'd love to see the Eubank fight, but he got dropped quite heavy twice. Was down in the 2nd and then the 10th, but mad because down in the 2nd, down in the 10th, won every round in between. It's just, you know what I mean? It's just like...
Were they just like freak shots? Or?
No, so Madiev's shot was like the Callum Smith catch counter sort of thing, and sort of Cash just threw a lazy one out and he just fucking clocked him clean, but it was like he went down, he was up, do you know what I mean? It definitely hurt him, but wasn't like concussed. And then again the 10th, just a little flash one, but he won everything in the middle. Usually you get dropped and you might take a round off, get your feet back under you, but it was just a weird fight. But he obviously come through, and I just hope they make that Eubank fight now, because it'll be huge, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then one name off the undercard was Austin Williams, Ammo Williams, who's targeting Anthony Fowler, has been for a while. He's 10-0 now, I believe, after the weekend. Yeah, 10-0, 8 KOs. He got another KO, but about last year, he had like a mental breakdown, and he was on Instagram saying like he was like spray painting somewhere in America, and he was like, Eddie Hearn's robbing me, exploiting me, all this stuff. But eventually, I believe he got sectioned or something. Okay. But he come out the other side of it. Obviously, he was back in England this weekend, put on a bit of a show. Got the stoppage. Eddie was there. Sort of, they've obviously, you know, Eddie knew what was going on, made up and that, but you know, he's a kid with a story, and he's targeting Fowler now. His post-fight was just anti-Fowler, so, you know, let's hope they can make that, mate. But
and this weekend's a big one.
Tasha, yeah, I know she's not the main event, but she had an opponent change on. She's fighting Chris Namus. Again, don't know anything about it.
So it's not for the title no more?
It is for the title, just a different opponent. But
why was it vacant then, was it? Or?
Yeah, it's vacant, yeah. Right. WBO World Female Super Welter title. Tasha's so far out for the weight class here, mate. She's a super featherweight.
How's that going to play out then? Is it just a...
Tasha just wants a world title, doesn't she? Rightly so. But yeah, I don't know how she's like going to look at this weight. She might be, because she can punch, Tasha, like, you know, she might be able to really punch up at this weight, but just don't know how it's going to play out. Weird one, you know what I mean?
What about her opponents?
Don't know anything about her, to be totally honest. The only thing I've got is she fought Emma Cozen and got beat on a unanimous decision back in 2020. So she's been out the ring for a while. Emma Cozen travelled to the UK 2 weeks ago to fight Clarissa Shields and didn't look very good. So if she's a unanimous decision there, and then she's been out for the best part of 2 years, I mean, it's looking like a bit of a home run, innit? And if Tasha, you know, this girl's been stopped once in 25-6, stopped once. Obviously, it looks like it was early on. Oh yeah, she got stopped back in 2009. So she's been Jesus Christ,
a while, hasn't she?
She made a debut in 2007.
Fucking hell.
And she hasn't. Yeah, so I mean,
15 years ago.
Yeah, so she's, you know, Tasha is looking like she has got a bit of a, you know, as long as there's no crazy weight discrepancies.
Yeah. And when's that going to be?
Saturday night.
In UK?
Yeah, Manchester United. Amir Khan, Brook, isn't it? So, yeah. So
good luck, Tasha.
Good luck to Tasha. It might have a little bite on the KO there if this girl's been inactive. But yeah, obviously the main event's Amir Khan, Brook, isn't it? Seen all the build-up stuff.
Yeah, it's funny. What are you thinking for it?
It's just who's shot less, isn't it?
I seen Amir Khan's missus made the fight. Seen that?
Yeah, she had a mad interview, didn't she?
Yeah.
She was like, I've never watched boxing or something. But mate, the gloves are off. I don't know if you've seen it.
No, I'm not seen that.
Like, at one point, they're like, Amir Khan's like, did you see me in the jungle? Kell Brook's like, yeah, it's my favourite programme, that. He was like, really, what do you think about it? He was like, oh, mate, it's funny when... Not mate, but he was like, yeah, it's funny when you're screaming at them snakes and that. And he's like, oh, yeah. And then it's just proper random, that.
What the fuck?
And then Johnny Nelson says something to Kell. And he's like, you just want respect, don't you? And he's like, yeah, I want Amir's respect. He's like, I was coming through at the same time. He went to the Olympics. You know, he was the golden boy. I've done it the hard way. You know, I want him to respect me. And Khan's like, sound, I respect you. And he was like, and then Kell's like, he just like this look on his face, you know what I mean? Like, obviously for him, it must be a big thing. And I want, you know, it's like any career, innit? I want your mutual, like, I want you to acknowledge that I'm as good as you. And Amir Khan goes, yeah, sound, respect you. You can just see the defeat on his face though, but yeah, I mean, for me, Amir Khan, is one of the best fighters we've ever produced in terms of talent. Like,
do you not think though, mate, you're much more the purist? When I think of Amir Khan boxing, you know the first image that comes into my head?
Flatlined.
When he got absolutely bingoed by Canelo. Yeah. Like one of the worst knockouts I've ever seen.
But that's what I mean, like that's up at middleweight. When Khan was like, you know, he conquered America, didn't he? Like, he was a star in America. There's not many British fighters that do that. Obviously, you know, up at middleweight fighting Canelo should never be there. He's a welterweight, but like, whatever you want to say about Khan, you know, I've just made my stance clear that, you know, I think he is one of the best fighters we've ever produced. But he has got chin issues. That's just like, it's not a bad thing. Probably testament to him because, you know, he's mixed with the best fighters in the world for a long time, and, you know, not many people have taken rounds off Canelo, and he was, you know, for a long time that was competitive, and it was in his wrong weight class. But, you know, the problem with Khan is he gets hit, and, you know, will it go to shit? But Brook's exactly the same. When Kell Brook was world champion before he fought Errol Spence, before Golovkin snapped his eye in half.
I was at that fight.
Golovkin? Was you? Unreal. But
I've never seen anyone, you know, the movement in the ring. Yeah. When Golovkin, Brook was just like, couldn't fucking do anything. Yeah. Golovkin was just on him.
Yeah. But that was Golovkin at his pomp, but he snapped his orthobone that night.
I remember.
He's never quite been the same since. And I think he's snapped it twice since. But if you look at his career, sort of, when he fought Sean Porter 2014 and won the world title, you know, everyone's saying Kell Brook, the most talented fighter that we've got. His timing was and is impeccable. But then his run was awful. Like Jojo Dan, Kevin Bizier. Then he stepped up to middleweight as well to fight Golovkin. You know, got his eye socket snapped. And then he, you know, comes back down to welterweight, defends his belt against Errol Spence, who has now gone on to be one of the best welterweights in the world, but took the knee that night. His eye went again. And then since then he's gone, you know, Rabchenko, Zerafa and DeLuca, fighters who are, you know, not on his level, goes to Terence Crawford, gets stopped in 4 rounds. His eye goes again.
I think you're leaning towards Khan.
I am. 11 to 8 years.
Is he?
Mm-hmm.
That seems bigger than it should be, that.
That's my exact thoughts. But look, back in Khan on Saturday night comes with its...
there's red flags.
Yeah, because if Brook lands something in the opening 2-3 rounds, you could be banging trouble. Do you know what I mean? If he lands something heavy, because Khan can be hurt. But I just think the fight's made at £149, which tells me that Kell's struggling to get to 147 anyway. So if he has a bad weight cut, his eye already looks terrible when you... Like, he's got this sort of mark, which you would have, wouldn't you? But he just doesn't... I just think he's shot to bits, mate, I really do. And I don't think... these aren't the fighters they were, clearly. But
Tasha knockout and Amir Khan's my double then.
Yeah, love it. I'm definitely gonna have a little play. I'm gonna have a look at this girl this week, but definitely gonna have a little play on Tasha knockout, and I'm towards Khan. What I'm saying to anyone who is looking for an accumulator, the fight not to go the distance is 4-7. I just cannot see how that loses. If you can put that in a bet with something else that you think sort of off your own knowledge, you think's a bit of a cert, you know, you're probably going to get a good double there. 4-7, or anyone who bets properly might have a goal 4-7 on its own, but don't advise that because it's going to take some big stakes. But yeah, I don't see how that loses. But yeah, I do think Khan's overpriced, mate, to be totally honest.
I mean, in the boxing world still, mate, Tony Bellew,
he's coming back.
I don't know what's he playing at. He's looking slim. He's looking fine condition.
He got him shape, didn't he, for, like, you know, just so he didn't become a fat unit. but he's got boxing shorts on, he's boxing training, and he's... please don't.
You don't want him to?
No, lad.
I want him to if he is due to come on the podcast.
He's out the game, lad.
But I want him to give us an exclusive when he's coming on.
He's out the game, lad.
We've meant to have had him on a couple of times, then he cancelled once, then I had to cancel one, so it's happening at some point. I think we just wait. I'll only message him again when he's announces what he's doing. Do you think he's just teasing us or what?
I don't know. Why would you put shorts on?
Just to get people talking. Get us talking.
No, but...
Mate, he looks in great shape.
He's in great nick, yeah, 100%, but...
You don't want him to come back?
No, really fucking don't. If he was in here now, I'd say please don't. It never ends well, lad. He's WBC Cruiserweight champion, made a shit ton of money, got hurt and put out cold by Usyk, who's now gone on to be heavyweight champion. The form couldn't be working out any better. And Bellew took rounds off him, by the way. Something Joshua didn't even get close to doing. Just leave, please.
Big George said, leave it out, Bellew.
I'd be fucking gutted if he comes back. Gutted.
Someone who isn't listening to your advice.
Ricky, make me cry, lad.
Ricky Hatton. The most random Sky Sports notification ever. Ricky Hatton considering coming out of
lad, he's done it.
And he got fucking bingoed.
Bad.
Yeah.
Bad.
The Russian lad, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it was Rabchenko we just talked about. Was it Rabchenko? Oh, someone like that anyway.
Yeah, that was a mad Sky Sports update.
Do you know what I hate though, lad? Is lad's trying to make his way as a boxer. He's already getting criticism.
And now his half-fella's coming
out. And his
out.
half-fella's going to come back.
Going to upstage him and probably get bingoed again.
I love Ricky Hatton, but you can't tell me that's anything other than ego, lad.
Quite a bit of boxing actually. So Tyson Fury as well, playing the moral high ground. Giving Jimmy Carr shit, saying he's going to chin Jimmy Carr because Jimmy Carr made a joke about gypsies.
He's a fucking walking contradiction, the man. I'm sorry, but he is.
At one point, crazy alcoholic, crazy Charlie head. Now born again Christian who struggles with mental health is now going to chin Jimmy Carr.
As he said, like, I'm sorry if I get a bit like across the line here, right? But he said, I will never support a gambling company because it drives people to suicide. That's what he said, right? The fact that he already has done that with gambling companies.
Has he, yeah?
Yeah, so number one. He then posted a selfie with a certain drug cartel member in Dubai who is openly wanted by the police and stuff. I'm not saying his name, but like, you know, if you know anything about boxing, you know what I'm talking about. But he's worried about the welfare of the general public. But it goes back to that. I'm donating all my purse. 1 minute, right, he says, I don't care about money. I box because I'm just want to use. The next thing, he's at a show with a Versace shirt on, top, like, open, with a big chain.
Yeah, I know.
I've seen him wear a pimp coat once. And
I've seen, I got to train with him once and he turned up in a Rolls Royce and I said, what are you doing this afternoon? And he went, I've just put it on Instagram, I want to get my car wrapped. There's a fella down the road who's going to do it for me. And he got his Rolls Royce wrapped in a camo. Is it Rolls Royce or an Aston Martin or something?
Whatever you think about the Joshua Tyson Fury thing and whether you like sort of see a bit of yourself in Fury or, you know, because he's got a lot of fans off the back of that mental health stuff. I mean, he talks shit.
I don't even know what the gypsy joke was, but it fucking pissed a lot of people off.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen it, but it's not new in comedy, is it?
Jimmy Cat, I know, yeah.
You know, like
someone takes the piss out of someone.
We're talking about stand-up comedians here who've, you know, in history have never really played to the rules. But yeah, I love Fury as a fighter, great fighter, done a lot of good things, but talks a lot of bollocks.
He's going to chin Jimmy Carr anyway. And the last thing to finish off in the boxing before we go into footy is podcast guest Luke Willis.
Oh yeah, British title. Boom. April time.
That'll be exciting.
Gavin Gwynn, who's about 6'4". But
we'll have to get along to that.
Yeah, your hall as well.
I've always wanted to go there after seeing the videos of the atmosphere in there. Looks about it.
Most old school venue ever. But yeah, we will go down definitely. Yeah, Gavin Gwynn, Luke Willis. But I love Luke, but I think he's made. Gavin Gwynn's made for Luke. Like 6'4", 3 knockouts on his record. Obviously can't punch. Obviously we've had that discussion with Luke. It's not that he can't punch. It's just not like at that level. So I don't think he'll stop Luke. The problem he will try and drag Luke into a fight in terms of like standing here and have it with me. So it's just Ryland Charlton 2.0, innit?
Yeah, I was going to say, we've seen that before with Luke.
Got to just stick to his boxing and he becomes British champion, which, talking about Bellew, took Luke from inactivity.
Oh, imagine that.
3 fights, he's gone. Barcelona.
I want to clip this up and send it to Bellew.
He's gone. No,
I want to screenshot him what he texts me back saying, you shit yourself.
Oh, please don't. No, just don't come back. But Bellew, on a serious note, Bellew, 3 fights with Luke. He's gone Barcelona, Matchroom Bill at home.
Echo.
British title, yeah, obviously, and then he's gone British title fight. He's not come out and been like, it's not all about Bellew. He's done really, behind the scenes, but he's given Luke opportunities and Luke's had to go and take them with both hands, which he has. But what more could Bellew have done? Do you know what I mean? In 3 fights, he's potentially turned his life completely around. And, I love Luke. He's someone I've known for many years, but if he wins a British title, I'll be fucking over the moon.
No, they'll talk more about that next coming weeks.
One thing for the boxing, just because I do like the fighter who I think is probably my prospect of the year in the UK, Bradley Ray. He is, I've pronounced it right, Bradley Ray, yeah. He's on the undercard of Brook.
Okay.
We backed him, remember, to win by knockout, and he landed that big body shot in the opening round, and then he had an absolute barnstormer.
I remember it.
But he's sponsored by Paul's company, Sedulo, as well, which is a bit of a contact. But yeah, he's me. Keep an eye on him. He's a big prospect.
Boss, last 10 then for football, you had Ericsson come back.
Yeah.
Which was nice to see. I tell you what though, I'd be shitting myself if I was him.
I would, mate. You just don't know what. I know it's behind closed doors and it was just like on a training pitch, wasn't it? But
I just think, mate, that I don't thankfully ever suffer with anxiety, but knowing that your heart give way in the past and you're going to do another sprint and you're a bit like...
give way just fucking talking about it.
That's got to be a scary feeling.
But getting the first one out the way is best, innit? Do you know what I worry about? He obviously, his wife weren't there, it's behind closed doors, wasn't it? But when you say to your wife, right, love, right, I'm going now, it's the first game, I'm going to... Imagine what she's thinking. I know he's probably had, the best test possible. And
has he got a thing in his chest?
Yeah,
now,
I think he's got one of them. I don't know the name of it, but so if he was to collapse again,
it's kickstarts
it kickstarts it without the need for CPR. Yeah.
That was nice to see that.
Go on, Ericsson.
My main man, Kieran Trippier, who Jordan doesn't like.
I do like him. He's just not
scored
that good.
Again.
Did you see the free kick?
No, I didn't.
Down the fucking centre of the goal, goalie like that, fucking diving like he's on Pro Evo.
Flash score. What a game, by the way. Was you Pro Evo or FIFA?
I didn't have a PlayStation, but around my mates, they love Pro Evo. We used to do after school, used to make the striker like... we were brassicas, lad. 6'9", you know what I mean? You can make your own player.
I was Pro Evo, me.
Merseyside red.
Yeah, Merseyside blue, Merseyside red. Anyway, flash score, Trippier, text Jordan, fucking told you he's good. Then he come back with, lad, have you seen that free kick?
Down the middle of the fucking goal.
Anyway, he scored, but then he broke his fractured his metatarsal.
His 5th metatarsal.
That's the only injury I've ever had, apart from obviously getting blown up.
Yeah, I've done
never ever been in hospital, never ever got sick, never ever nothing. I fractured my 3rd metatarsal.
It's like a wishbone, innit?
Yeah.
Like I remember the doctor saying
it's fucking painful, but anyway.
It is fucking painful, yeah.
He'll be out for a bit, which is unfortunate for Newcastle because he...
3 on the spin.
I wouldn't go as far as say he's been a revelation for them, but he's...
No, he's played well,
got a couple of goals, and now they are... I think they'll be all right now, the whole relegation thing.
That I'm telling you what, that Alan St. Maximin, mate, is as good as a player at one of them clubs that I've seen in a long time. He reminds me loads of Mane at Southampton, mate.
No, you're going to say that.
Because he's like, when he's one-on-one, he's unbelievable.
Thoughts on Spurs trying to get thousands of fans, not to say the Y word?
Oh, yeah.
That went down well, didn't it? It's like saying to 20,000 fellas, right, do us a favour, lads, don't say this.
Yeah, it's not going to happen, is it? But they've got to do it, haven't they? The world we live in, they have to be seen to be making an effort to do it.
They might have made an effort, no effort, not to say it was made, and it got sung.
Yeah, it's not going to happen, but yeah, it's not going to work, is it?
No.
Champions League week, innit?
It is Champions League. This is recorded earlier on in the week, so we don't know obviously how the Champions League will have played out. I'm hoping it's 3 points, not 3 points.
Fucking hope not. Yeah.
It's not even group stage no more. We're into the knockouts.
Open Liverpool win, City lose. No, Grealish is out, isn't he? But he hasn't really set the world alight, has he?
I've seen already. Listen, I'm not knocking him. He's one of the greatest managers, but Pep seems to get phased. His head seems to go a little bit when you talk about Champions League. He's come out and he said, what did he say?
I've seen that one where he's like Premier League all day long. Did you see that one? And he's like, Premier League or Champions League?
I've seen one where he's talking about squad harmony, and he's like, oh, it's down to the players, and it's all... I just think he tries to deflect anything away about the Champions League, fits into what you're saying, it's Premier League. I just see parts of Pep start to flap a little bit when the questions get asked, why have you not won the Champions League yet?
And he won't win it.
I think they might this season. I think an English team is winning it this season.
I guarantee you now it'll be Liverpool-Man City final.
I couldn't take that.
In Russia.
When I was in Madrid for the Spurs game, that's the only game I ever went to, and I didn't even think about the game. I thought we're going to win this. And for me, the first beer at 10 in the morning was as if we'd won it. It was the best day ever. I just never ever thought we were going to get beat. If we played Man City or Chelsea in a European Cup final, I'd be cacking it.
I'm just logging it now. The Champions League final in Russia will be Liverpool vs Man City. Just logging it now. It will not be in Russia. It is? It fucking won't be when they kick off at the Ukraine and has to get moved. Oh, fucking hell. God, imagine that. Like, lads, into Russia, in and out. 90 minutes in, play, out. Yeah, the fans are throwing flares on the pitch. No, that's a fucking rocket. No, that's not that, Jeff. We need a fucking duck and cover, pal. So, yeah, Champions League. I know what you're going to say. Comment or slide into me DMs, anything with your advice. We've had this conversation a few months back. Ooh. Me and Jordan jumped in my gym's last man competition, over 200 of us in it. It's for 10 grand. Jordan went out first round. I am down to the last two. The fucking last two. I've picked Liverpool, City, West Ham, Villa. The lad I'm against has played Liverpool, City, Spurs and Villa. Nice. Who'd you pick this weekend? Have you looked? Like, I'm leaning towards either Arsenal or Brighton. Arsenal are home to Brentford, aren't they? And Brighton are at home to Watford. Fuck me, it's 10 grand. I'll be honest, right? Have you asked for the split it? You want to go 5 each? I'm not splitting it. Fuck that, I'm not splitting it. Hey, at the weekend, I would have won it if Liverpool hadn't beat Burnley. Yeah. And I'm watching that Burnley game and I'm like, fucking hell, Alice. Didn't know what to think, I'll be honest. 10 grand is 10 grand. You're fucking right. 10 grand's more than your fucking football allegiances, lad. So what? For one game. Who are you picking if you're me? I've picked Liverpool, City, Villa and West Ham. Tell me who you're picking this weekend for last man. It's for 10 grand. I'm down to the last two. Has he picked you? Help. The lad who you're against? No, that's the tactical thing. Who's going to pick first? Nice. Let me know. Leave us a comment on the YouTube. Fuck knows what to do. Do you know what? I think I'd go... Oh my God. It's such a tough weekend. Right, I've got Burnley, lad. That's it, Burnley. Sorry, I thought it was Watford. You've used Villa, because Villa's the one in it against our own to Watford. They're in turmoil. Yeah. Oh my God. It's such a tough week, mate. Do you know if can you both go the same team? Yeah, but then obviously we'll both be in it next week, and if it loses, then just keep it's a rollover then. Everyone in the group chat just puts like memes of people rolling down a hill for a rollover. Oh my God. Do you know what? Have you used City? Yeah. I've used City, Liverpool, Villa and West Ham. Oh, you're fucked. You're going to have to go Arsenal, lad. Arsenal or Brighton or Chelsea. No. Chelsea are away to Palace. No way. I did have to go Arsenal. But where are you at 3 o'clock on Saturday? At the match. Liverpool are at home to Norwich. Oh my God. I'm taking Alba with the match with me. Oh my God. You're not going to watch a minute of that? No. I know. So anyway, fucking let me know. Go Arsenal. Mate, one thing I'd be good to... actually, before we do that, mate, Liverpool's squad is heavy at the minute. Telling me. I'm watching a game of footy, and for the first time in what seems like years, we're bringing on subs who are unreal. What's your thoughts on the Henderson thing? In terms of his... He's had a back injury, hasn't he? His form's fell off a cliff, though, hasn't he? Yeah, he's got problems, hasn't he? He's having little niggles here and there. Do you reckon he's broken down? No. I'm still Team Endo. I just think he's got a few little niggling injuries. I know. He doesn't look the same, though, does he, lad? Yeah, he's got a niggling injury. Why is he playing, then? It's not like that type of injury. You love him, don't you? I love him, yeah. It's a bit. He's a great... he's just a boss fella. And no, I'm with you on that. I'm just saying, like, we spoke about it. Sort of, you said in the past, like, how the Liverpool strength, and you've got to be one of the best players in the world to go on the team. does he get a pass because he's skipper and what he's done?
No, I think he gets in the team because him, Thiago and Fabinho haven't fucking been beaten.
No, that's the one. But
I think what he does, mate, is leadership qualities.
I mean, no doubt about it.
I think it's all together. You know, his experience, his leadership, and listen, he's a player. He's had a few little niggling injuries. He's dealing with a few niggling injuries now. Nah, there's nothing to worry about. And if there was something to worry about, look at the bench. Look at Harvey Elliott coming through. Look at Jones.
Yeah.
Look at the strikers, mate. Gone are the days we were bringing on Shaqiri and Origi. No disrespect to Origi, they're fucking club legends. But we're bringing on Diaz and Jota now.
Yeah, I'm with you, lad.
Mate, the squad is heavy.
Yeah, I just wanted your thoughts on it because it is a topic
he's
people are talking
isn't he,
about.
lad? He's my boy.
But, yeah, I
Give
think...
me the greatest day of my life.
Oh, you've got a daughter, you know.
Yeah, but when I think about the kids thing, what I think about that is I never done anything for that, did I? Do you know what I mean?
Move on. That's a fucking...
Because that's sticking me at home. Alba doesn't listen to this.
I fucking hope not.
Family apart, greatest day of my life.
Okay, second greatest day of your life.
Okay. And Everton, I think they'll be all right now.
I hope so. I was fucking made up with that result, like, I'll be honest.
Couple of tough games. Southampton coming up the weekend.
That is a tough game, though.
And then I think it's Man City.
Yeah.
Southampton obviously beat United. Drew United.
Tell you what, if they take points off City, that'll be a touch, wouldn't it?
Fuck no.
But yeah, I think the other day...
turned the corner, it felt like.
Yeah, but it was more like they actually played well. You know what I mean? Like they put a really good performance in. Like people like John Joe Kenny, who've been on like the outside of it, being loaned out loads of times, comes in and puts brilliant performance in. Donny van der Beek puts another one in.
I think he'd be great for them.
Well, he epitomises everything they need, isn't it? He's like, no one can deny his talent when he was at Ajax. Whatever happened at Man United happened, but it's the weirdest thing of all time.
Proper weird.
And he comes in, he puts a performance like that. He's just got to put it all together now. But I think, seeing Lampard, he's definitely got a relationship with the fans already in terms of he went over to the Gladys Street end, didn't he? And he got a bit of a reaction. And, I think they'd be all right too. I was worried. But, yeah, I think now, hopefully, they put a couple of results back to back.
Yeah, I think they'll be all right. But one thing I just want to finish on before we run over. Harry Maguire got questions into the whole captaincy around Harry Maguire's got brought into question.
Shite.
He is not. I mean, listen.
Remember you used to email him,
message him, yeah,
saying you and Van Dijk love heart emojis.
Yeah, I did, yeah.
Thank
fuck he unfollowed me and ignored me.
If you could ever unsend a message, would it be that?
But fucking got them there in me Insta DMs. We used to message, and then he fucking went to United and unfollowed me. The big weirdo. But he's shite. He's not a good footballer.
Do you know? Listen, it's getting to the point. It's half hard to watch. I know it's at United, but
mate, you know that. You know when you watch like a handshake and it fail.
He's just awkward, isn't he?
It makes me watching him play football. Makes me feel like.
Because he always, what he does? He always walks away and like his head be down, and he lifts it up and he goes out with his like mad fringe, and then he's like. And then he does it all the time though. And then
not only are we slating him for being a footballer, he's got a bad fringe as well.
Yeah, he's just a weird bloke, isn't he? He's not weird in him. It's just everything around him at the minute's weird.
He's not fucking worth the money they paid for him. And brings into a bigger question, probably a longer chat that we can actually give it. But like, what makes a good captain? Because he doesn't seem to be the most vocal and like one who's kind of barking orders and all that. He's certainly not leading by example. He's not very good at his job at the minute.
He consistently gets these big roles, doesn't he?
Why is he captain though?
Don't have fucking no idea.
Ronaldo and Fernandes must be in that team, and I know Ronaldo's not been in the greatest form recently, but
that Fernandes is half the problem, lad. Him and Pogba. If I was new at Man United manager, the first two people I'd sell over Maguire, Pogba and Fernandes.
I think the Ronaldo, Fernandes, Pogba thing is just a recipe for disaster. Too many big names in there.
You see you later, and then you step a mark, don't you? You say, right, you can be as good as you want, but you're not playing if you are an idiot. Do you know what I mean? I'd rather go and play. And Liverpool are sort of testament to this because, during Klopp's reign, we've not always had the best players on the surface, like Wijnaldum and stuff. They were never considered world-class midfielders, really. But you can be not like the best player, but sort of be part of a greater team. If you're a great player and not a team player, it's just disastrous, isn't it? Yeah.
It brings into that question, what makes a great captain and all that? Do you want your skipper to be shouting about and all that, or do you want him to be quiet and lead by example? I mean, regardless, Maguire's
no right way to do it, is there?
But Maguire's not doing any of it.
No. Well, you look at Stevie, obviously.
He's done both, didn't he? Yeah, well, Stevie, he wasn't a big shouter,
wasn't a shouter, but when push came to shove, he was the man who stood up. Then you look at the likes of Henderson, who is vocal. Carragher was like a captain on the pitch without the band, wasn't he? And Yeah, I think you've got... But I also think you've got to have big enough shoulders to sort of be honest with yourself. Like, I think most captains, like Roy Keane and stuff, if he was playing the way Maguire was, he'd be owning it. Do you know what I mean? He'd be like, I'm in a bad spot. But what for him, it's just like his shoulders are slumped, his head's down. You can't do that when you're captain.
Situation for him.
Someone's got to take him out the team, though. You got to have... the manager's not worth a carrot, is he?
No.
But like, if a proper manager would take him out the team and go, look, 4 games, just sit there
and just watch how you play football.
Just get your head together. Do you know what I mean? Like, just sort yourself out. Because you got 4 games, then hopefully, not hopefully for them, for us, but for them, you might get a good result in the Champions League, and then you bring them back in refreshed for the second leg or whatever.
But in the Champions League?
Or no, Europa League, innit? Who are they playing? They're playing Atletico Madrid in some game.
Yeah, they're playing Madrid. Might be Champions League then, is it?
Don't know what it is, but yeah, but do you know what I mean? It's like...
No, it is, because Atletico finished second.
Yeah, but it's like... You've got to think about the greater good, haven't you? Do you know what I mean? Like, just persisting with him is not going to help anyone.
He's fucking shite.
He is garbage. And you want him to play for us. What are you fucking smoking?
I know. He had that one decent season for Leicester, and I was like...
You and Van Dijk, heart emojis.
I thought I was trying to be like, the instigator of this fucking world transfer move. I was sliding into his DMs. Thank fuck he unfollowed me.
Yeah, thank
big
God.
Dope.
Imagine you were in charge of recruitment. We had some traps us, like.
Yeah, big time.
Henderson will be about 52 playing centre mid. Come on, Jordan, lad, kick on.
You got me that ticket fucking all those years ago, lad. Come on.
It's only a back injury. Come on.
Anyway, I think that's about an hour, George.
Yeah, love it. In the bag.
Nice one for everyone listening. Again, bang on about it all the time. If you haven't already, please go support us on Patreon. It's £1 a week. You get extra episodes of me and Jordan talking shite. When we put events on, you get first grabs on them. And you're supporting the boys. Have a boss weekend, and we see you next week.
Cheers.